Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Paige and it is time to start another reading vlog. It is a Saturday afternoon when I normally like to start these vlogs, and I am about, I want to say I'm about 50 to 80 pages into A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle Jensen. This is one of my most anticipated releases for this year. It is a 5-star prediction for the year, and so far in the first 50 to 100 pages it is kind of living up to that vibe. I am really enjoying it and it's a really unique story. It is a fantasy set around Norse mythology and Vikings, and we follow a main character, Freya. She is essentially used as a pawn. She goes from being married to someone old enough to be her father to then being married to somebody else old enough to be her father, and neither of these are love matches, and being used as a pawn because she has a drop of goddess blood in her, which is a very powerful thing in this society, and she can be used as a weapon in war, and there is a prophecy spoken around her, and so she is basically being used as a pawn by her husband, who wants to use this prophecy to his advantage and advance his station and advance his wealth. But we also see her being drawn to and having a connection and a little flirty banter with her second husband's son. So a little bit of a weird situation, but it is made abundantly clear that it is not a love match between her and her second husband. He is old enough to be her father, and yeah, she's not entered the marriage all that willingly. But I am really enjoying this story so far. I am excited to get some more of it read today. Hopefully this will be a productive reading week. I read 3 books last week, so let's try and keep that momentum going. And so yeah, if you guys like reading vlogs and you like seeing my reading vlogs, then do please feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below and stay tuned for future content. I upload every single Wednesday and every single Sunday, so there is no shortage of bookish content here for you to enjoy. And I'm gonna go read now, because all I've been wanting to do this morning is read. I've been doing some adulty, stressy stuff, and now I just want to go into my book and be a Norse Viking warrior and pretend that this part of my existence doesn't exist. I have had a day and I am ready to fall into the depths of this lovely Viking world and see where Freya's adventure is going to take her. I am really enjoying this book. I think this could be a 5 stars. I think I don't know, I'm just constantly on edge with it. It doesn't really feel like a fantasy romance that I've read before. Like, I feel stressed for our characters all of the time, and that is not necessarily a bad thing. I do really like the relationship that's developing between our 2 characters. It feels a little bit like it's lacking in substance right now, but I'm hoping we'll get to see more of that. So Freya has been forced to marry somebody that is much older than her, and her new husband is making her spend a lot of time with his son, who is Freya's age, and so we're seeing a lot of like banter and loveliness between these 2 characters. And obviously because she is technically married to the love interest's dad, we don't get to see too many like interactions between these characters. We haven't really had the opportunity to confess any kind of feelings for each other. I'm getting towards the end of this book now and it's kind of stressing me out that this hasn't happened, but it makes sense that we won't have had that substance from their relationship, or I don't know. I'm hoping that I'm not supposed to believe that they are like madly in love with one another and they're like each other's soulmates. I do think they are, obviously, and that's probably where the story's gonna go, but I don't want there to just be this like switch of, okay, like you are it for me, like you are the best person ever, because I don't feel like there's been much of a build towards that. But I will let you know how that goes at the end of the book. But for now, I really just want to read. I'm finding this story so addictive. I've just been waiting all day for the opportunity to curl up with this book and see where Freya's adventure is going to take her. So I finished A Fate Inked in Blood and I ended up giving it 4 stars. Couldn't give it 5 because the second a hint of unease trickled into the book. Like honestly, at like the 20% mark of this book, I predicted exactly what was going to happen, and I couldn't really give it 5 stars for that. I mean, it was well written. I did enjoy the romance. I would 100% pick up more books in this series. I really enjoyed it. I just couldn't give it 5 stars when I was able to predict exactly, like, every single tiny detail of the plot twist I predicted. So I couldn't give it 5 stars. But I did also start the 4th Bridgeton book, which is Colin and Penelope's story. I've been wanting to get to this before I watch the season, the Netflix season, and this is my favourite Bridgeton book. Yeah, I can 100% see why people are excited for this season, why they've decided to prioritise Colin and Penelope over Benedict and Sophie. Benedict and Sophie's story is the worst one. It is a word for word, plot point for plot point rip-off of Cinderella, and I really hated that book. But this one is so fun. I really like Colin and Penelope's relationship. I actually really like the friends to lovers because A, it's not drawn out, and B, I like the fact that Penelope has been putting Colin on a pedestal and she is forced to really confront the fact that he is a real person and take him down from this pedestal in order to be in love with him. And I think seeing that relationship dynamic play out in a friends to lovers situation plus in a Regency romance situation is really interesting, and I'm absolutely loving this book. I only have maybe 20% left of it. I absolutely stormed through it last night. I cannot wait to read the rest of the Bridgerton series. Like, I just feel like Colin and Penelope's story has just reignited my interest in this series, and I'm having such a good time. So that's my little update, and now I need to get my food out of the oven and go back to finishing this book. I'm in my bathroom because I need to shower. I've got rosemary oil in my hair, my face is breaking out like crazy, and I need to have like a bit of an everything shower so I stop feeling like a huge slob. But I did finish romancing Mr Bridgeton. This is my favourite of the Bridgerton so far. I've already said that I really liked that we got to kind of see Penelope confront the fact that Colin isn't perfect and she has put him on a huge pedestal all along, but that there is something kind of more romantic about the fact that he isn't perfect and she knows him on a much deeper level than she did originally. I don't think this is much of a spoiler because I think a lot of people have seen the first season of Bridgerton and know that this is a fact, but just in case, I'll put a spoiler warning here. This book mostly follows the fact that Penelope is Lady Whistledown and the fact that that secret becomes uncovered, and so we follow Penelope. She's trying to navigate this situation, and it kind of all comes to a head after she's married Colin, and we get to see her and Colin really deal with this as a couple. And I think it's a really nice touch to have kind of the third act conflict occur when they are already together and actually see them deal with it together and how they approach it. And it was just nice as well to just have a pretty decent chunk of the book be when they are married and getting to see them together. This is probably the least smutty of the books so far, but it definitely had the most depth to it. It had the best kind of character dynamics. I could actually believe that these two would have a really happy life together and would really handle obstacles that came their way well. And I expected it to be kind of boring. I didn't think it would have the stakes of the first like 2 books, but honestly, I really enjoyed this one. It was my favourite so far. So I have to have my everything shower so I stop feeling disgusting, and then I have to go and edit a video, so I don't think I will get too much more reading done tonight, but I am now really in the mood for Regency romances. This is what happens. I will read one Regency romance and then I have to read about 10 of them to kind of get it out of my system, and then I get bored and I don't read a single Regency romance for months, and then I'll inevitably pick up another Bridgerton book and the cycle starts over again. So I need to go on my Kindle and find some more Regency romances to read, and I also think at the same time I might pick up the next From Blood and Ash novel, which is book 4. I need to kind of get started on that before I just fall into a slump. Book 3 was my favourite, and so you'd think I'd be racing for book 4. But they are really long books, and like when I'm not reading one, it can take a little bit of effort for me to motivate myself to pick up a book that's probably going to take me a week and a half to read and be a very like intense full-on fantasy vibes. So I feel like I need a fluffy little Regency romance palette cleanser at the same time until I'm into the story, and then once I'm in, I'll be fine. I tend to fly through them after that. But that is the plan. I'll catch up with you maybe when I'm editing, maybe when I'm reading. I'm not sure, but I don't feel like I've vlogged properly this video yet. I've been reading so much more than I have been vlogging. I have this issue when I'm reading books that I'm really enjoying or really on a reading streak where I just struggle to kind of take myself out of the book and vlog. And that's kind of what's happened here. So I don't have a lot of vlog clips to show for the amount that I've read. Yeah, I'm hoping to be better at that as the week goes on, but yeah, that's my probably first major update of this vlog. Romancing Mr Bridgeton was not one I really expected to get to anytime soon in terms of a book on my physical TBR, but I'm glad that I did. It was really fun. I would actually recommend that one. And now I'm gonna get on with the rest of my evening and then hopefully find another Regency romance that is just as like fun and fluffy and hopefully a little bit smutty too. And I'll catch up with you in a bit. Guys, I did the thing again. I just read an entire Regency romance in one evening, in one go. I am now up to 20% of the way through my yearly reading goal on the 21st of February. I'm gonna have to up it, aren't I? It's too early. I could so easily get into a slump. But yeah, I just read an entire Regency romance. I didn't even look at the title of this, so I can't tell you, but I will put the cover on the screen, obviously. This follows our main character Eve, and she enters into a marriage of convenience with male main character Gabriel. Basically, she has a clause. She has inherited a dukedom in her own right, or a duchy, I guess it would be called. I'm not entirely sure. She's like inherited a title, but she's not allowed access to it until she's 25 or until she gets married, and the people who are like managing it until she comes of age are doing a terrible job of it, are horrible, keep trying to kill her off so that they can have the title. So she goes to Gabriel, who is a notorious rake, notorious scoundrel, who has been cut off by his father and has no money. And she goes to him and she basically proposes a marriage of convenience where he will get access to her money and be allowed to continue his life as normal, and she'll, because she's married, be able to inherit her title herself. And so we follow them as they kind of run away to elope and the process of that elopement and really getting to know each other. I actually really enjoyed this book. I gave it 3 stars. I was almost tempted to give it 4 stars, but I didn't think it was that good. It did have some things that I didn't love. It very much has a main character who is only ever described as like quirky, small. She's so tiny, she's so small, she's so different from all the other girls. She rides astride on a horse and she has her own title, and she's like a feminist in a Regency time period. So like, you know, she was a little bit infuriating in that sense. I also don't think Gabriel was a particularly nice person. We did see him start to become a lot more caring towards her, which was nice, and I actually did really enjoy getting to see a lot of their like friendship on page. I thought that was nice, but I think there were a lot of scenes that didn't really go anywhere, and Gabriel could have been a little bit nicer. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I even read the extended epilogue. I never ever read extended epilogues. I read the actual epilogue and then that's it, I'm done. But I wasn't happy with where the actual epilogue left off, and I really wanted to see them like further in the future with their real happily ever after. So I actually went and read the extended epilogue as well, and I still wasn't happy. I still wanted more like Eve and Gabriel content. So safe to say that I enjoyed the book. I read it in one sitting and I want more. We'll probably be continuing with this series. I wish I'd read it in order, because this is the 3rd book in a series, which I didn't realise when I picked it up, and it has spoiled the past 2 books. If I'm going to continue with this series, then I'm probably going to just read from book 4 onwards. Maybe eventually I will go back and read the first 2, but I'm not keen to read them now that I know what happens. So bear that in mind if you want to read this. It is a series and this is book 3, and they do spoil the previous ones. But yeah, honestly really enjoyed this. I don't even know what to pick up now because I'm not in the mood for The War of Two Queens. I tried so hard to get into it and I'm just not. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. But yeah, just wanted to update you that I've read a whole nother book. There is something up with me at the moment. I'm just an absolute fiend for books. I cannot put them down once I pick them up. I am storming through them. It's not the worst problem in the world to have, I guess, but it's making me a very terrible vlogger. So I do apologise for that, guys. Because I'm not really giving updates as I go. And I'm not really having coherent thoughts about the books because I'm just sitting and binging. And then you're getting my overall vibe check of the book and not actual in-depth thoughts as I read. I'm too far in this vlog to just scrap it now, so you're getting this absolute mess of random thoughts of a million different books. You know, maybe in one of these clips this week I will look somewhat decent and not makeup free and slobby. Maybe we'll just keep the vlog going until I actually like get dressed and do my makeup and my hair one day. We could be here the rest of the month though. If you hear running water in the background, I'm running myself a bath because I have had a very taxing day. It's been a day and I would really like to have a bath with a bath bomb and not have to like actually wash my hair in the bath. Just relax in the bath, read a book, chill in there for a while. I am reading this book. I am 100 pages into The War of Two Queens and I am not loving this one. It's not the book's fault that I'm not loving it. The main reason I'm not loving it is I need more Castile content and I'm not really getting it. So that's why I'm not engaged in the book. Well, I am engaged. God, my brain. I'm not that into the story, and that is because I'm still laughing at my own joke. I just really want more Castile content. I don't think that I'm getting what I want out of this story. It totally makes sense for the direction that the story is taking. Like, I'm not hating on this book at all. This is entirely me. I don't think that I am in the mood or in the space for something this plot heavy. I think I just wanted to like read some easy breezy, like happy bantery romance. Not even happy, but like I just wanted some like Poppy and Castile content and I'm not really getting it. So I'm not really sure what to do because I think I'm hitting a slump. I think that's what's happening. I think we could be hitting the first slump of the year. And I wouldn't be all that surprised given how much I've read in such a short space of time. But nothing sounds good to me. Like, I do want to read, but there is nothing that comes to mind for what I actually want to read. I can't really find any Regency romances that are tempting me. Can't really find any contemporary romances that are tempting me. I've got a couple on my shelves that I need to read, but I don't know, they just don't sound that good. This was like the only thing that I was kind of tempted to pick up, but it's not hitting the vibe that I wanted it to. But I'm a little bit scared that if I like put it down or pick up something else and I just won't ever continue with this series because I have a really bad habit of doing that. So I think I'm going to read this book in the bath. Give myself like a designated chunk of time this evening to read this book. And then like just see where we go from there, to be honest. Ow, I've just punched myself in the face. Yeah, I just don't think I'm really in the headspace for something so plot heavy. But hopefully as I start to like decompress and if I actually give myself the time to really sink into the story, then I'll get used to it, kind of thing. Like, it maybe won't seem so difficult because my brain will be in the world and I'll be picturing it and I'll just be going with the story and it won't feel that intense. That is the plan for this evening. Hopefully I will actually vlog this evening. I'm feeling a little bit motivated to vlog. I haven't been at all this week, which is why this is not one of my greatest vlogs of all time. The motivation just wasn't really there. All I wanted to do this week was finish work and read whatever I was reading, and vlogging kind of felt like it was getting in the way of me reading, which was making me not excited about vlogging. Sometimes that happens. It is what it is. Feeling out of that now, which is good, just before the weekend so that I can film and whatnot this weekend. I have a lot of time to myself this evening, so I'm gonna read a good chunk of The War of Two Queens and then maybe make some more progress on my reading journal and try and play catch up a little bit, because again, I've had another month where I have read a lot of books. I am at 10 books, so there's a lot that needs to go in the journal and I'm falling so behind on it. But yeah, I am gonna go take my bath now and then I'll see you afterwards to tell you how I'm finding the book, if I've gotten into it, etc, etc. I'm 182 pages in and it's getting better. I'm getting slightly more into it, but I am probably gonna leave it there for the night and pick up, I don't know, maybe a game. Maybe I'll play The Sims for the first time in months. I'm just not in a reading mood, and that's fine. I've read like 100 pages of this book today, over 100 pages of this book today, so let's just leave it at that. I've been doing so much reading and gone into such a flow of reading and just getting so ahead on my Goodreads goal that now I'm kind of scared to like ease up on my momentum. I'm just gonna get myself into a worse slump if I keep trying to force myself to read when I'm not really feeling it. So I mean, the annoying thing is this is not that I'm not feeling the reading, because I've stopped reading and I'm immediately like, I don't want to play a game, I want to read. But every time I pick up a book, it just doesn't feel like something I'm interested in, so love that for me. Yeah, I'm just gonna play a game now or something, and the next time I see you will probably be to end out this all over the place vlog, because clearly it's just not my week. Like, clearly that is just the case. Hi guys, I am here to end out the vlog. I don't know how I feel about how the week went. I obviously did so much reading, kind of came out of the gate so fast, finished books like so early on in the week and thought like, yeah, this is gonna be such an amazing reading week, and now I feel kind of slumpy. I have absolutely no desire to pick up any more books, so I don't actually think the week went that well, because I just feel a bit like I forced myself to read when maybe I shouldn't have done. Like, I think maybe I just pushed myself too far, but I did read a lot this week. I'm so happy with where I'm at with my reading challenge. It is set as 100 and I would be very happy to hit 100. 100 would kind of remain consistent with previous years, but I am kind of hoping to like really go over that. So the fact that I'm ahead on my Goodreads goal is a good sign. I really enjoy that. I think maybe the issue that I'm having with like picking up books is I'm in a bit of a Regency romance mood, but good Regency romances are so hard to find. They haven't quite had the contemporary romance treatment where they've become like mainstream or like big on TikTok, and so the genre has started to get a lot of energy and time and work put into it, and so most Regency romances are still kind of like badly written, or not most, let's not say most, a lot of Regency romances are kind of like badly written or just really cheesy. So it can be a struggle to find a Regency romance that I really like. I think that could be where the slumpy feeling is coming from, but nonetheless, that is a problem for next week, for picking books for next week. And yeah, it's time to end this vlog. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I know it was all over the place. I know I was a terrible vlogger this week. It be like that sometimes. I really wanted to vlog, but I wanted to read more, and the urge to read kind of won out. So I'm really sorry about that. Anyway, even though it was like a bit of a mishmash of like clips, I still hope you enjoyed it. I still hope you enjoyed hearing my thoughts on some of these books. Enjoyed seeing what a crazy reading week for me could look like. If you did enjoy it and you would like to see more from me, then do please feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below and stay tuned for future content. I upload every single Wednesday and every single Sunday, so there is no shortage of bookish content here. Also, do please feel free to check me out on Bookstagram at Page in Chapter. It's fun over there. I enjoy it over there. I make some shorter form like reels and stuff over there too, so you know, if you enjoy that, it might be a good place to check me out. And so I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. You're enjoying everything you are reading and there are no reading slumps in your future, and I will see you for my next video. Bye guys.